Hey guys, today's video is going to be fairly serious because I am fed up. Now, if you're a young person with a chronic illness, which I'm assuming you probably are if you're watching this, you have most likely experienced annoying doctors who don't believe you. And I have had this happen to me quite a lot, the most recent taking place on this past Wednesday, which you may have seen on my Instagram story, where essentially I went to an allergist to try and figure out why I keep going into anaphylactic shock, and I brought up mast cell disorders because those are comorbid with my other conditions. This doctor said, and I quote, "I'm not a big believer in mast cell." He and his nurse then went on to refer to mast cell with air quotes because maturity exists. And then he just told me that he wasn't going to see me because he didn't know anything, so we would just cancel the appointment, even though I went downtown for it and had it booked for weeks. Yeah, so after being told that I could be booked with the mast cell expert in the clinic, I waited for a while, but eventually I walked out. Well, rolled out with difficulty because the building didn't have doors wide enough for wheelchairs or hallways. The whole thing was very unprofessional and I'm really upset about it. But I thought it would be the perfect time to make the video of how to advocate for yourself as a patient. First, have a file of your medical records. All of them. Every hospital you've been to, every doctor you've spoken to, every diagnosis you have. Keep them with you. Doctors will apparently not request records until they've seen you, so the first visit then is much more of a time waster than it should be. If you have that with you, it won't be, I would assume. Also, it adds credibility. I find more and more that doctors are prone to dismissing young people who are sick, thinking that it's just all in your head. This gets worse if you have a diagnosed anxiety disorder such as myself, because doctors apparently cannot understand that mental disorders and physical disorders are different things and not necessarily interconnected. So, get all of your records. You as a patient have permission to view them at any time. Get them, print them out, and keep them with you. Number 2, don't be afraid to talk about your assumptions. If you've been doing constant research on something you think you might have, bring it up to the doctor. Obviously, I'm not saying diagnose yourself, because only a doctor can do that, but don't assume that you have no inkling of what's happening, because it's your body. And you know what the symptoms are and can describe them more accurately than a doctor who's read case studies can. Thirdly, I think I've mentioned this before, but keep a listing of your symptoms and flares. Keep a journal, keep a diary, write it in your phone, I don't care. Just the more concrete proof you have is better. And finally, don't be afraid to switch doctors. If they're not treating you with respect, with basic dignity, or if they're just patronizing you and won't believe you for whatever reason, you can leave. No one is keeping you there. I have walked out of an ER after an anaphylactic reaction because the doctor was convinced that I was having an anxiety attack and only wanted to give me a sedative. I've walked out of the allergist's office. Again, I use walk figuratively. You know what I mean. But yes, I walked out of there too because they were acting very unprofessionally, very sarcastically. The office was outdated and I didn't trust them with my care. It's as simple as that. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't let these stuck-up doctors convince you that there's nothing wrong with you just because they don't believe in your particular disorder. If you already have a diagnosis and another doctor just doesn't believe it, that's their problem. Find a doctor who is a specialist in the condition you have or think you have and go to them. If you don't have it, then it's been confirmed by a specialist. If you do have it, they can help treat you. I know this video is more irate than normal, but I am tired of being treated like a hysterical young girl because I have an anxiety disorder. I also have joints that pop out all the time, and I'm in a wheelchair. I'm sick, and I need help. And that's fine. I just need people to believe that. Okay, calming down. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope these tips helped you in some way. If you ever battle with a medical professional, do let me know. We can rant together. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.